And I haven't voted in the last 12 years. The last person that stepped up in presidency to me, I felt like let me down a little bit. And I'm trying to figure out if I actually want to be a part of it as far as voting, because I feel like it's a bunch of things a lot of people didn't do.
So it's a presidential election going on? I think y'all know that.
Yeah, I know about it.
So I'm interested. I'm just interested in getting some general thoughts on the election and what you think, what you're hearing.
I mean, I'm not fully against Miss Harris, you know. I'm all for it and everything like that, but she's been kind of like the vice president in the last 4 years. How good has she done that to be able to actually step up as a full president?
Let me ask you this question. How old is your mom?
My mom is 56.
What if I told you that they was trying to raise the retirement age on your mother? You'd be frustrated about that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's one of the things that's on the line. Trying to raise the retirement age, Social Security. You have any sisters?
Yes.
Or a brother that have kids?
Yes.
Look at them entitlement programs, child care. We come from that. Those food stamps helped us out. So when the other side's talking about, we want to cut that, we want to raise the retirement age, my mom is 56. My mom walks with a limp right now. She can't work another 20 years. I take myself out the equation and look at my mother, my grandma. I was sitting at the table, man, here. And my grandmother smiled and said, my prescription drugs is at the lowest they ever been. But she smiled. I may not ever have that moment again, but seeing that and hearing that from your grandmother, I said, I know what I'm voting for. My grandma never steered me wrong in my life.
Sometimes it's also just about protecting progress too, because like if you think about it, you said you're a professional boxer and you care about the healthcare. Like Trump routinely tried to get rid of the ACA.
Yeah, I heard at the election where he was pretty much saying he wanted to get rid of it, but it's the close thing to an all right thing, so he'd rather keep that in place until he finds something better.
But when he was president,
How many times he tried to stop it? Tried to get rid of it?
over 30.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. But
It's wrapped too tight, too solid. He can't even get rid of it.
and when he was president, 200,000 African Americans lost health insurance.
Wow.
And then when you think about all the other things like pre-existing conditions, like diabetes, insulin in our neighborhood.
One of them.
Like he trying to, you're
One of them, I'm diabetic, and yeah, I needed medication before I got me a full-time job, and I needed it. You know what I mean, to stay alive. You know, insulin, metformin. You know, you need this stuff.
When it comes to health and stuff like that, I think in our communities, one of the biggest things that we're struggling with also is mental health. What's being in place with that?
That's that one right there is very, 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 very important, and that's something that will be a collective. You know, mental health is very important.
And like the vice president, she's always saying like, you have to treat your mind as if it's any other part of your body. And people that we see on the streets, they live in our communities, they go in and they have like mental health problems, but there's nothing physically ailing them. So they just turn them back because insurance companies don't cover it. So one, the vice president's expanding insurance coverages to be able to cover mental health services.
Yes.
No disrespect. I guarantee you, in my opinion, about 80% of kids in Philadephia suffer from PTSD.
Stop you there, because I was a juvenile when I got feet, hands, everything. I got beat on by the police. You feel me? Like I went to court, hands, face, everything. They took pictures. Nothing never happened to the police who beat me or nothing. You feel me? Like I never got compensated or anything for anything that took in place. It just literally it got overlooked. And I'm glad you brought that up. That comes down to voting. Judges. Supreme Court is dominated by 6 conservative judges, 3 which were appointed by Donald Trump.
But it's like top to bottom too, because like we got this like presidential election and like, y'all heard of Project 2025? Like on police accountability, like the DOJ, right? And even like I said, voting rights, they protect everything. Like it's getting rid of the DOJ. Like removing their independence to be able to like investigate. So we know
Get rid of who?
The Department of Justice. But I'm saying they should not feel like, oh, well, I run the Department of Justice, so if the president breaks the law, I can't take Donald Trump to court, or I can't take Joe Biden to court.
You should be able to, right?
Yeah, you should be able to. But he wants to remove that independence.
No, we can't remove it.
Yeah.
No.
If Donald Trump become president, he's going to be the closest thing to a dictator we ever seen. His whole goal to me, it looked like for him to be the sole proprietor of everything, to say so, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. That's kind of scary, man. Project 2025 is crazy when you look into it.
I got a question though, because you spend a lot of facts and you know it. You just said Trump will be the closest thing to a dictator. That doesn't scare you enough to vote?
Well, not really, because that's why I'm here. I was open to the thought. I'd rather not be a part than be a part. I'm not gonna lie. Me watching the debate, it was a great fight. I ain't gonna lie, gloves off. It was a great fight. I was leaning more towards her. She made me feel better. The things that she was killing him. She was doing him so bad to the point where I understood everything she said in clear English. And for real, Donald Trump is all about himself and his people. She give me the hope to think she made me feel like she's gonna fight for me right now. So I need that. You feel what I'm saying? I need that. I'm leaning more towards voting for her. It's also scary because I was always raised on kind of like a female will never be a president also.
I think people need to look past, no offense, but I think people need to look past this whole gender thing. I think black women are the backbones of our household.
For sure they is.
So if they can raise us, they should be able to lead.
If we look around this room, it was a woman who did a lot for us. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be who I am today.
If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have a pair of clippers to start this barbershop.
So you look at it, women can lead in the household. They can lead in the neighborhoods. Why can't they lead in the White House? They deserve that opportunity because if you look at it, some of the biggest decisions was at the feet of a woman when it came to us. So now let's give them a chance to sit right there.
Vote means everything to me. Leadership, someone that understands community. Community is very, very important. So I myself would be voting for Kamala Harris.
Voting means everything to me. I think in this election for 2024, I'm going to choose Vice President Kamala Harris. The reason why I'm going to choose her to vote, because me being an entrepreneur and a young business owner and having the voice, I feel as though she'll be the person representing all of us. When you look at a reflection of yourself, if you're somebody that's in that realm, I think you should go with Ms. Harris.
I struggle with it, so I say Vice President Harris.
So instead of Kamala.
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 It's going to take
I'm gonna take Vice President Harris. Sorry, yo. Yeah, that's funny as hell.